Hi, this is Joe again with another review. And for something in this video, we'll be discussing the ABC series that just ended its first season just last night. And that's Quantico. Of course, this is of course, I can't pronounce the person who actually stars in the show because I can't pronounce her name. Um, but just do a review, just do a little review of this show. Like I said, the first season of this ABC show just ended last night, and that's Quantico. And it's about an FBI trainee named Alex Parrish who gets trained for when she does become an FBI. When she became an FBI agent, she got trained for a terrorist bombing in Grand Central Station in New York City, and she got trained for it, and she tried to and throughout the season she tried to clear her name. That's one, and two to find out who the actual terrorist was, and of course. It was determined that it was a terrorist within her class in Quantico. In case you don't know what Quantico that's the school that trains people to become FBI agents in the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For those of you who don't know who the FBI is. Uh, so, so Alex Forrest wanted to become an FBI agent because her father was one, and she tried to solve. Uh, so she wanted to follow her father's footsteps, so to speak. And of course, throughout the series, throughout each episode, they have flashbacks of what the trainees were doing in Quantico and the relationships that she developed with her classmates. And one of these classmates happened to be, the terrorist. And she's trying to figure out and they flip back and forth between what was currently going on and what was going on when Alex was a student in Quantico. And so it was kind of confusing at first because they kept flipping back and forth between what happened in the past and what was currently happening. And so it was kind of a little tough to watch at first. But of course, since ABC is one of the many liberal broadcast networks, the person who played Alex is a Muslim, even though she never wore any of the Muslim gear, or garb, I should say. Uh, Naturally, of course, it made her the big star. I'm not saying that she wasn't ugly. I'm not saying she wasn't good in the part. But naturally, of course, they want to put that out there. But what they also put, they didn't hype the fact that she was a Muslim in real life, that she was a Muslim on the show. They didn't put that in there. What they did put it on there was two Muslim students who are identical twins. They did put that in there. And so, oh, God, they gotta put that in there. You gotta put the whole Muslim thing in there. Um, that was one of the only part of the show that I actually really didn't like. Um, but in terms of the show itself, it was a pretty good. At first, I didn't really like the show all that much at first, and then as the mystery deepens and it took a whole left turn. What I mean by that is eventually it would have been better for the show, at least I think, if they keep the mystery going. If the actual character was the terrorist, but by halfway through the show, her character for some reason her character was cleared or was found out that she wasn't the one who planted the bomb at Grand Central Station. And I don't remember how they determined this, but they brought her back to the FBI. They cleared her, but they still trying to find out who the hell the terrorist even was, because the terrorist himself contacted the FBI and said, "Hey, she wasn't a terrorist or something." Um, but they're trying to determine who the hell this person was, and they're trying to eliminate one by one from her class at Quantico who the terrorist was. Eventually, it wasn't a student; it was actually the person who. And major spoiler that the guy who was second in command at Quantico, whose name is Liam. Liam was the one who was the terrorist. He was the one who set the whole thing up. And the final episode, which once again aired just last night, uh, it showed how he set Alex Forrest's character up. and it showed in the beginning of the episode how he had in fact set her up. But unfortunately, even with all this stuff going on, even though that she has been officially cleared and that Liam was the one who was the terrorist, and she still got kicked out. She still ended up getting kicked out of the FBI, and the episode ends with her being recruited by the CIA. And she was deciding whether or not to join the CIA or not, and that's pretty much how the first season ended. But in terms of the show itself, it did have some good drama, especially when the Alex Forrest character was on the run. I think the show kind of died off for me a little bit when they decide, but halfway through the season, say, hey, let's clear her. When the writers, the producers said, okay, let's clear her because this show is going to get tiresome if we just see her casting on the run trying to clear her name. Um, but I think the show kept the mystery going in terms of her, whether or not she was a terrorist or not who attacked Grand Central. They should have kept that going and see who her eliminating people. But I think they got really ridiculous was that they brought in Marshall Cross from Melrose Place, and for Desperate Housewives, they brought her in to play a senator who was running for vice president, and because her son was a student of Alex's uh, at Quantico. And of course, there was a subplot where terrorists says to Alex, switch her medication, switch the senator's Marshall Cross's medication. But Alex Forrest found out, hey, she doesn't even have any heart or blood pressure condition. He said, what are the pills for anyway? And I think it was the pills for her son because her son was a drug addict. And so I thought that was kind of. I think that's what her pills for. It's kind of like a mystery. What condition does she have? And I think it's a condition for replication for her being on Melrose Place. That's what she needs the medication for being on that show 20 years ago. But anyway, they had the show itself. It did have a pretty good mystery, but I know by the end of the first season, if they didn't resolve the situation who the trainer is for this season, and if the show doesn't get picked up for a second season, which they did, uh, it's going to leave people hanging and say, hey, who's the trainer? So I knew that by the end of the season, at least I'm glad the ABC let the show be on for the full season, so we could find out who the trainer actually was, who the actual terrorist was, and all that stuff. But for the show itself, I thought it was, good. But what the hell are they going to go from here? I mean, they resolved the whole thing, and I don't think they're going to have any more flashbacks for the next season, because through the whole course of the season, they did a whole flashback thing for the whole graduating class, and of course, last episode when they showed them graduating from Quantico, and we all got the FBI badge, and they all got the FBI issued guns. So I don't think they're going to have any. I mean, if they're going to do that again for the second season, I think it's going to ruin the novelty of the show. I mean, we good for the first year because of the mystery part of it, but if they continue for the second season, I think it's going to ruin the show. But the one who plays Alex Forrest character, I think she has a great potential of being very good in this show. Of course, I don't know if the show's going to get any Emmy Awards because all the Emmy Awards are going to all the shows on cable. Like The Walking Dead or when Mad Men was on The Walking Dead or Breaking Bad. All those shows get the Emmy Awards. None of the shows on broadcast television get Emmy Awards anymore. You should have a separate I mean, the Emmy Awards should have a separate category for the cable shows, and they used to have one. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but that's what's going on. But I think Quantico has the potential of getting at least some Emmy Awards, and maybe the person who played the part for play Alex, I think she should get an Emmy Award. Because I thought she was very, very good in the role. She was good in the part. Actually, the whole show was focused on her. And she was literally the face of the show. Which I'm kind of surprised because it's one of the few shows that actually had a Muslim main character. Even though, like I said earlier, they didn't really address that in the series because they had two Muslim characters previously. Throughout the series, they were identical twins, so they would like one person, like one of the twins would be there for a while, and then she would switch with her twin sister. Uh, but even that bit was getting tiresome after a while. I mean, you did it for one or two episodes, okay, but they were constantly doing it throughout the whole course of the season, and it was getting tired of that angle on that subplot on the show. Uh, there was also another subplot with one of the other girls who were getting scanned by her parents, who supposed to have been killed in 9/11. It was supposed to be one of the airplanes that the hijackers crashed. I think either in the Trade Center or in the Pentagon. And so she joined the rather than joining the FBI, to out her parents, and they found out her parents were still alive. They were scamming her for money. And that subplot went on too long too. All the other little subplots, I think some of them went on too long, and they were distracting. And to me, it was just distracting from the main plot, which was the mystery and who was the traitor, who bombed Grand Central, and all that stuff. But as a show, I think the show was, it was pretty decent for a mystery show and for a drama series. But was it a great show? I haven't seen no. But for being entertained for an hour, Quantico was the show to watch for Sunday night. So that's my review of Quantico, and can't say all that much about it. So that's my review of the show Quantico. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video on your Facebook pages. You can check all my videos not only on my YouTube channel, but rallyc.com. It's all WDY and last C.com. The homepage of the Rally Reviewer, Christine Moore. Please check out all of his content, especially his TV trash videos. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.